Having moved beyond the Speed Force wall and into the first layer of the metaphysical realms, we encountered the Sphere of the Gods, where you will find 8 realms. These realms are paired in a series of 4 opposites: Heaven and Hell, Dream and Nightmare, Skyland and the Underworld, and New Genesis and Apocalypse. 2 of these pairs also have another set of opposites: the Pinnacle, set between the Speed Force wall and New Genesis, and the Pit, set between the wall and Apocalypse, while the other pair, just outside of Dream and Nightmare, are Order and Chaos. So what exactly are these realms? Well, let's start with the easy ones. Basically, everyone knows what Heaven and Hell are. And while the versions of these planes in the DC Multiverse are similar to what we know, there's less focus on the idea of one true God versus Satan, and more of an understanding that these planes are an angelic realm and a demonic realm. Heaven, also known as the Silver City and the Word of the Voice, is home to the Spectre, Zoriel, and the guardian angel hosts of the Pax Day, including the Bull Host, the Eagle Host, the Lion Host, and the Host of Adam, to name a few. Now, these aren't your harp-playing, halo-wearing angels, but some ass-kicking, sword-swinging demon fighters. So I'd try to stay on their good side if I were you. On the opposite side, we have Hell, also known as Sheol, Jigoku, or the Burning Iron Place of Torment. It is home to such demonic entities as Neuron, Trigon, Etrigan, Djinns, and fallen angels. Moving on, let's take a look at the realms of Dream and Nightmare. Dream incorporates much more than the sleeping metaphysical world of lollipops and fuzzy unicorns, but other such mythical realms as the Courts of Fairy, the Halls of the Endless, and the 12 Houses of Gemworld. Individuals who call Dream home include Oberon, Titania, Amethyst, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and of course the ruler of Dream, Morpheus, along with his siblings the Endless, found in the Vertigo Sandman comics. However, this isn't to say that Nightmare belongs to someone else. Morpheus also rules over these shadowy lands. Home to the Boogeyman, the Corinthian, and Yeathhounds, Nightmare also hosts the Goblin Market, where you can buy fear and sell inspiration. The next pair of realms we'll examine is Skyland and the Underworld. Skyland is made up of all the mythical realms of ancient gods, such as Olympus and Asgard. Dozens of different pantheons reside here, including the gods of the Celts, ancient Greece, the divine bureaucracies of China, and ancient Egypt, just to name a few. Surprisingly, these gods appear to get along very well, but then I guess as long as everyone stays on their side of the fence, there'll be no trouble. Here you will find many of the deities such as Zeus, Hera, and Ares that Wonder Woman deals with and occasionally battles. On the other side of the multiverse is the Underworld, realm of Hades, the throne of Eshkregal, and the land of no return. For those of you somewhat familiar with the Superman mythos, you will also know this realm as the Phantom Zone, where the Kryptonian war criminal General Zod is imprisoned. Other creatures contained in this realm are Zadu the Phantom King, Ursa the She-Devil, along with a host of others. Finally, we get to the pairing of New Genesis and Apocalypse. New Genesis, somewhat similar to Skyland, is home to the new gods, along with the ever-young, forever people. Supertown, also known as the Celestial City, is the floating capital of New Genesis, whom heroes such as Orion, Big Barda, and Light Ray call home. Lastly, we have the fiery plantasm of Apocalypse, home of the cosmic tyrant Darkseid, who would inspire the creation of Marvel's own deep space baddie, Thanos. Sorry, Marvel fans, DC did it first. Along with Darkseid are his acolytes, Granny Goodness, Desaad the Torture God, and many others. Another bit of interesting trivia is that though Darkseid was born into the royal family of Apocalypse, he also has a connection to New Genesis as one of the new gods. But we'll get to that in a later video. Having finished exploring the metaphysical realm of the multiverse, there is still one plane of existence before we head into the Monitor Sphere, and that is the plane of Limbo, which is marked by the green ovals hanging over the 8 metaphysical realms. Limbo is an odd duck within the multiverse. Here, what is physical and what is simply memory begin to break down. Many heroes have passed through Limbo, though only the lost and forgotten call it home. Beyond Limbo is the Monitor Sphere, which, as you can probably guess, is home to the cosmic beings known as the Monitors. Now, from what we have already covered in the Crisis series, it seems that there have only been 3 Monitors: the Monitor, the Anti-Monitor, and the Dark Monitor. But in fact, there used to be countless numbers of the race. However, after the Crisis events of the past few decades, only 52 Monitors remained, each tasked with the safety and study of 52 different universes within the multiverse. But in the aftermath of Final Crisis, they appear to have retreated, as it was their interaction with the 52 worlds that led to the corruption of one of their own into being Mandrak. However, one Monitor, known as Nix Wotan, who had been exiled for a time, returns to New Earth to observe, not as a detached Monitor, but as a human inhabitant. That is until the next crisis arises during the Multiversity storyline. But as Multiversity technically doesn't change the makeup of the multiverse, well, at least not yet, we won't be discussing it in this video. Within the Monitor Sphere is the world of Nil, the result of the Overvoid's continuously evolving thoughts. This world is where the Monitors actually live, and are able to observe the other 52 Earths. The events of Final Crisis not only allow us to see this world, but also reveal that the Monitors are in fact celestial vampiric beings, who not only sustain themselves through consuming small amounts of the bleed, but also see themselves as descendants of the Overvoid himself. Now, some of you are probably asking, who exactly is the Overvoid? Well, without going into too much detail, the Overvoid, also known as the Overmonitor, is considered the first Monitor, a giant and vast cosmic intelligence. However, the multiverse of DC, as we have described it, is actually separated from this entity by the last item on the map, the Source Wall. The Source Wall is the final barrier and limit to the DC multiverse. All that exists beyond it is the Overvoid/Monitor Mind, the Source, which refers to the source of creation, and the unknowable. Now, while this is all that is visible on the multiverse map, one metaphysical realm is missing, known as Vanishing Point. The reason it doesn't show up on the map is because it exists outside the normal space-time continuum. Time itself is its main realm, as it exists during the last possible moment of the universe. At the center of Vanishing Point is a floating fortress, the main operation base for the Linear Men, a group of heroes who police the time stream, including Rip Hunter, Matthew Ryder, and Leary Lee, among others. Here you can access all of history, including the universe/multiverses that existed before each of DC's crises. So there you have a general breakdown of what the DC multiverse looks like. In our last section of this episode, we will cover the final change in the multiverse. Well, that is not counting the newest Rebirth storylines, as we outline 2015's Convergent storyline.